Good morning. Welcome back to today's class. Today we will discuss a free electron model of metal or conductor and drift velocity. Okay. Now, as the name implies, free electron means electrons are free. How is it possible? Yes, it is possible. What happens in certain material or in metal atoms? There are 1, 2 or 3 electrons in their outermost orbits, and they are very loosely bound with the nucleus, so that with the slightest excitement, with the slightest collision or whatever interaction that takes place, electrons get themselves free, and such electrons move here and there in zigzag way, in zigzag path within the metal. And what happens? The behavior of free electrons inside metal is very similar to that of motion of gas molecules in a closed vessel. Okay, we have already understood that how the situation arises. That the electrons move in zigzag way with a very high speed, and they move in such a way that their speed is very much. Okay. The speed is very much, but that is in all directions. It is free electron theory, and drift velocity. Drift velocity comes later once we give electric field. But first we are discussing here the free electron model. Electrons within a metal can move in very zigzag form. You can see these are different direction in which electrons could be found to move, and that is within an atom. This is what we have the general idea, that each electron may have different velocities. But does it mean that when you place a metallic wire, it jumps? ये jump तो नहीं करता है. एक metallic wire को ऐसा रख देते हैं. It never jumps, it never moves, it never shakes. ये shaking भी नहीं होता, ये कांपता भी नहीं है. तो इसके मतलब total the sum of all such velocities will always be 0. That means what we have, sigma u u1 plus u2 plus u3 dash 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 un is always 0. That is sum of the velocities of free electrons in a metal is always 0. Here remember, I am having only I am only discussing the motion of free electron. It is not acted upon by any some external force. कभी बाहर से कोई एक्सटर्नल फोर्स नहीं लगाया गया. खाली जब ये अपने फ्री स्टेट में रहता है तब ऐसे दाएं बाएं घूमता रहता है, जिगजैग जैसे ब्राउनियन मोशन करता है. गैस मॉलिक्यूल्स द सेम वे दे मूव. क्लियर? लेकिन इनका सबका एल्जेब्रिक सम वेलोसिटीज का क्या 0 होता है. अब क्वेश्चन ये होता है कि व्हाट हैपन नाउ. क्वेश्चन अराइजेस दैट इफ वी टेक अ मेटल वायर एंड दैट इज कनेक्टेड टू अ बैटरी. एक मेटल वायर को अगर मैं बैटरी से कनेक्ट कर दूं तो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड उसमें आ जाएगा. मैं सपोज आई एम हैविंग दिस एज मेटल वायर एंड इट इज कनेक्टेड टू सम बैटरी और सम इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड सोर्स. देन व्हाट हैपन, दिस इज द डायरेक्शन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड. क्लियर? नाउ whenever electric field is applied, you know, every charge will experience a force. Force experienced by each free electron will be Q into E. Q of electron is E. E into capital E is the force, and consequently they will also have some acceleration. Acceleration equal to F upon m, E capital E upon m. This is what we have. The acceleration of free electron, where this is electron is charged and this is mass of electron, and this is your existing electric field. Clear? Now this is the acceleration of this. Well, what will happen? You say that initially electrons were moving here and there in all zigzag way, but as soon as some electric field is applied in the system, there the electrons will be controlled by such external electric field. पहले तो दाएं बाएं घूमता रहेगा, लेकिन धीरे धीरे उसमें डिसिप्लिन आने लगता है. Now the electrons will gradually rearrange themselves, they realign themselves, and as a result they keep on colliding with themselves, and with two successive collisions they almost become in a particular direction. ये पहले due to motion of this, due to the existing electric field, the electrons will experience a force that we have observed, and this is the acceleration of electron. Now they will collide among themselves or also with the positive ions present in the metal, with the effect of which electrons are slightly displaced from their original position, and that is what we call the shifting of electron takes place, drifting of electron takes place. The term drift यहाँ पर आ जाता है. ड्रिफ्ट का मतलब क्या है? इलेक्ट्रॉन शिफ्ट होता है एक साइड में. ये किस साइड में शिफ्ट होता है? इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड के ऑपोजिट में. सपोज कर लीजिए ये अलग अलग पोजीशन है इलेक्ट्रॉन का. ये बिफोर इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड, बिफोर ई, जैसे ई आ जाता है, ई इधर लग रहा है तो इलेक्ट्रॉन किधर शिफ्ट करेगा? इस साइड में. देन इलेक्ट्रॉन विल डेफिनेटली शिफ्ट इन द डायरेक्शन ऑपोजिट. आप देख सकते हैं कि इलेक्ट्रॉन पहले यहाँ पे था ब्लू वाला, अब ब्लैक वाला मीन्स इलेक्ट्रॉन इधर शिफ्ट कर गया. ये इलेक्ट्रॉन जो यहाँ पे था वो शिफ्ट होकर इधर आ गया, जो इलेक्ट्रॉन यहाँ था वो शिफ्ट होकर इधर आ गया, इलेक्ट्रॉन जो इधर था वो शिफ्ट होकर इधर आ गया. तो दे आर ऑल शिफ्टेड फ्रॉम द ओरिजिनल पोजिशन टू अ डायरेक्शन ऑपोजिट टू द इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड. इस टाइप का शिफ्टिंग ड्यू टू द एक्सिस्टिंग इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड को हम लोग ड्रिफ्टिंग कहते हैं. दैट मीन्स ड्यू टू द प्रेजेंस ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आर ड्रिफ्टेड अवे फ्रॉम द एक्सिस्टिंग इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड. तो अब ड्रिफ्टिंग भी हो गया, बट इलेक्ट्रॉन्स का अभी इंटरेक्शन खत्म नहीं हुआ. जैसे मैंने कहा वो टकराते रहते, दे कीप ऑन कोलाइडिंग विद देमसेल्व्स. एज अ रिजल्ट दे विल एक्सपीरियंस लीनियरिटी, दे एक्सपीरियंस अ लीनियर मोशन. ये दो टक्कर के बाद वो क्या हो जाता है? वो एक फिक्स डायरेक्शन में अलोंग द लेंथ ऑफ द वायर दे मूव. अब वो लेंथ ऑफ द वायर में अलोंग द लेंथ ऑफ द वायर दे मूव with a constant velocity, and that constant velocity is called drift velocity. So drift velocity क्या है? It is the average. Remember, it is the average average velocity of free electrons when the given metal is under the influence of an external field. In other words, when a given wire is given some external electric field by means of battery or other, then the electrons are disturbed, their motion is disturbed, and ultimately their drifting takes place, and finally they move along the length of the wire with a constant minimum velocity, and that is called drift velocity. And drift velocity is the average of all the velocities of free electrons. V equal Vd, it is given by Vd, V1 plus V2 plus that is Vn upon n, U1 plus A tau, U2 plus A tau, Un plus A tau, all upon n, sigma U plus N A tau upon N. Sigma u is already 0, that you know. That means it is simply A tau. Vd equal to A tau. And A is already known to you. It is E, capital E upon M into tau. This is a good relation between electric field, this tau relaxation time, and Vd is your drift velocity. Okay. Now you have to know why I use this tau. This tau is nothing but this is your रिलैक्सेशन टाइम. देखिए मैंने पहले कहा कि जैसे ही इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड बाहर से लग जाता है तो ये इलेक्ट्रॉन्स आपस में इनमें खलबली मच जाती. दे आर वेरी मच डिफर, दे आर वेरी मच डिस्टर्ब, एंड विद द इफेक्ट ऑफ विच उनके जो एग्रेशन बढ़ जाता है, वो उनमें टकराते रहते हैं एक दूसरे से बहुत तेजी से, और दो टक्कर के बाद वो फिक्स होता है. जैसे दो ठोकर खाने के बाद वो लाइन में आ जाता है, बिल्कुल ऐसी दो टकराया, फिर दो टकराने के बाद दे बिकम वेरी डिसिप्लिन, and so that all such free electrons are found to align along the length of the wire, and they will move with this constant velocity, and that constant velocity is called drift velocity, and that is given by the average of all the velocities of free electron. And average velocity is a final velocity where electric influence is already there, and this is what we have. It is very important formula which is used in expression, various expression like derivation of Ohm's law, etc. This Vd equal to E capital E upon M into tau. Okay. After knowing the free electron and drift velocity, let us take the next topic as relation between electric current and drift velocity. Each free electron is found to move with velocity Vd. This is length of the wire, and this is a cross-sectional area A. And we are giving an electric field in terms of the battery, which is having a EMF of V. Okay, and this is length of the wire is L, and A is the cross-sectional area, and of course the electron density and total number of electrons per unit area, per unit volume, sorry, and is the total number of electrons per unit volume, that is the electron density. Okay. Now here we are taking a conducting wire of length L and cross-sectional area A. When it is given an electric field by means of a battery or potential source, then electrons are drifted and they move with a constant velocity Vd, that is drift velocity. Okay, this is the general idea of the thing. Now let us see, if we take one electron, then how much time it takes from one end of the wire to another end. The time taken by the electron, time taken by an electron to cover the length of wire, T equal to how much? We can say it is L upon Vd. This is the time taken by this. Okay. and therefore the current conducted by an electron, the current conducted by an electron I1 equal to charge upon time. Charge is E and time is this EL upon VD. Then we have this. Okay, this is current produced by one single electron. This is equation 1. Okay, now we know that electron density is this one. We can determine the total number of free electrons. Total number of free electrons capital N equal to small n into volume, and volume कितना हो जाएगा A into L. Okay, and that means the net current or total current I कितना हो जाएगा I1 into capital N, that is EVD upon L into NAL. L cancel हो गया. Okay, N and N, so L और L cancel हो गया, तो बचता क्या है? What we are left with? I equal to NEA VD. This is the relation for current. I equal to NEA VD, or VD equal to N by EA. Okay, VD equal to, this is VD, remember VD, drift velocity equal to current upon NEA. Okay, now you know I upon A is sometimes current density, then current density upon N into E. This is also a relation for VD and current density, and this is the main relation between the current and drift velocity inside or for a given conductor. For a given conductor, current तभी develop होगा जब बैटरी लगाया जाए. You know it well. Whenever battery is connected or EMF source is connected, then only current flows, and then drift velocity will also be found, and that current and drift velocity is related by this formula, and in further moving we can also get a formula between VD and J, that is current density. Okay, after knowing the relation between current and current density, हम लोग एक चीज और ध्यान रखने वाली चीज है कि हमको ये मिल गया कि ओम्स लॉ हमने पहले थोड़ा बहुत देखा था, और ये फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन मॉडल से भी ओम्स लॉ हो सकता है. वी कैन प्रूव फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन मॉडल से भी ओम्स लॉ. देखते हैं कि कैसे, हाउ वी डिराइव दिस. डिडक्शन ऑफ ओम्स लॉ on the basis of drift velocity. ड्रिफ्ट वेलोसिटी कह सकते हैं, या आपको ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ फ्री इलेक्ट्रॉन मॉडल भी कह सकते हैं. इससे हम लोग निकालते हैं. ओके, नाउ फॉर दैट वी नीड डेफिनेटली a cylindrical wire, and that is connected to a voltage source V, that is EMF भी हो जाएगा प्लस माइनस. तो इसमें इधर करंट पास होगा और उधर ही इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड भी है, और इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड भी इसी डायरेक्शन में है. ड्रिफ्टिंग ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन्स से जो मोशन होगा, that will be like this, just opposite to the direction of current. Okay, and cross sectional area A है, and this is your length L. Well, this is the general idea, that let there be a conducting wire of length L and cross-sectional area A, and its electron density is small n. It is connected to a battery of EMF V, so that current I flows through it and electric field E develops in it. Okay. Well, after having this thing, if anyone asks me that what could be the acceleration of this, that you know well. We have already determined in free electron theory that how Vd is expressed in terms of that electric field. That is, according to free electron theory, Vd is written as QE upon M into tau, or E capital E upon M into tau. This is the drift velocity in terms of electric field E. Okay. Well, now after knowing this, then what we can do? We can have at least one thing in our mind, that we have to anyhow determine the relation between voltage and current. Then we have to find the terms. We have to express this in terms of V. Right? इसको equation 1 मान लेते हैं. Now you know this electric field can be equal to this potential difference upon length. Okay. Then Vd equal to E. This is V by L. V by L upon M into tau. Vd equal to E V tau upon M into L. M into L. This is your equation number 2. Here we have this voltage. Now you know the current and drift velocity, they are also interrelated with each other. We know the formula that I equal to NEA Vd, or Vd equal to I upon NEA. Okay, and therefore we use that formula of Vd. Here we have I upon NEA. This is I. Equal to E V tau upon M into L, and ultimately what we have, we take all these things, it is M L upon N E square tau I equal to V. I have shifted all the terms except V to this side. We are left with this formulation. Okay, and here you know for a given wire length is constant. It's A is also there. I have not mentioned A. A has to be there. And E and E becomes E square. This A and this tau is the relaxation time. They are all constant at constant temperature. That means we can say that V is proportional to I, or V upon I equal to resistance equal to ML upon NE square A into tau. This is what we have, that since all of this thing is constant, in this way we have proved Ohm's law. That is, Ohm's law can be verified on the basis of free electron model by this formulation. Okay, by this method we can verify Ohm's law. Very clear? Like how Ohm's law can be verified, where resistance can be given by this. Okay, and we will take this formula separately that is R equal to ml upon n e square a into tau. Okay, for a given wire, a is constant, length is constant, mass of electron is constant, and this is also constant. That means R is proportional to 1 upon n into tau. इसको जरा और सिंप्लीफाई कर दे. If I just simplify this, what we can write, R A upon L equal to m upon n e square into tau. Okay, so what is this? This is your specific relation of resistivity. Resistivity equal to m upon n e square tau. Since m and e are constant, therefore we can also write it's always proportional to n into tau, 1 upon n into tau. Okay, this is how the resistivity can be depending on this. In fact, this is an extension of Ohm's law. So basically, we have proved how Ohm's law can be derived or deducted on the basis of free electron model, and we have seen that Ohm's law is not applicable to all the circuits. Those circuits which follows Ohm's law are known as ohmic circuit, and those circuit which does not follow Ohm's law, where current is not linearly depending on the voltage, or voltage is not linearly dependent on current, they are non-ohmic circuits. Example for this is all the semiconductors like PN junction, PNP transistor, etc. All the graphs drawn between V and I are non-straight line. That means we have non-ohmic circuit in those cases. Okay, that is the different thing. Let us come to this. From this we can determine the temperature dependence. Temperature dependence of resistivity. Well, this is the general relation between tau, rho and this tau or n. This is general relation for resistivity for any system. For metal or conductor like copper, nichrome, aluminum, etc. What we say, N is always constant. Number of free electrons fixed रहता है, constant रहता है. तो इसका मतलब it's always inversely proportional to tau. Rho is always inversely proportional to this relaxation time. Well, जैसे temperature बढ़ाएंगे, when we increase the temperature, what happens? The electrons become more aggressive, and their collision time is shortened. The time between two successive collisions is shortened. That means this tau is decreased. If this tau is decreased, that means rho will increase. That for metal, always remember, for metal the resistivity increases with temperature. Okay, and the general relation for resistivity is this 1 plus alpha T minus T naught. This is general relationship. This is not direct linear relation, but it is a relation like this. Here we can have a plot like this for copper type metal, and the resistivity and its temperature. Temperature is very small temperature, and say this is 150 Kelvin. This is temperature, and this is what we have, resistivity in 10 to the power minus 8 ohm meter. Okay, and we are having 0.2, 0.4, is 0.2, 0.4 like this. This is for metal. We can see that for metal, with the increase of temperature, even at shorter temperature, its resistivity increases. But for the metal like, for alloy like nichrome, it is in fact it dependence on temperature is slightly reduced. In general, what we say, it is very strong. It's had very strong resistivity, and therefore its resistivity definitely large. And even at larger temperature, we can have direct linear graph. That is for nichrome. We can have the graph like this. It is 1. It is 1.1, 1.2, and here rho 10 to the power minus 6 ohm meter. You can see it's larger than this. Okay, and here temperature is also very large. Say 200, 400, 600 like this. They are all in Kelvin. This is temperature. And this is again the relationship between the rho and temperature. This is for alloy like nichrome. Okay. Now for semiconductor, the relationship is slightly different. There we have the electron density or number density as N0 e to the power minus Eg upon kVt. This Eg is your gap energy for semiconductor. It is the initial number of electrons or charge carrier or even holes. We have this type of formula. Now you can see that for resistivity, when we increase the temperature of semiconductor, what happens? The conductivity increases, or definitely resistivity decreases. And because here in that case this rho is directly proportional to 1 upon n, tau is constant. Remember, relaxation time is constant. Therefore we can have only this type of formulation. And if you see that the number of number of n increases, how it increases? It increases by the formulation like this. Okay, with the increase in temperature, n decreases in very exponential form, and then we have this is your rho and this is your temperature, and therefore this is the different from those of conductor or alloys. Okay, and this is for semiconductors. We have seen that for semiconductor, that is this resistivity decreases exponentially, rapidly, what we call like this, and therefore conductivity increases. Okay. After having this, we have to know mobility. As the name implies, mobility means some kind of thing which is mobile. You know it well that within a conductor or semiconductor, it is the charge carrier which moves from one point to another or from other point to one. There just for their mobility, just for their own motion or the motion of mobile particle, charge particle, current is conducted. Okay. And therefore the new term comes mobility. It is found only when drift velocity is there, and drift velocity is found only when electric field is there. In general, what we call the mobility is that physical terms, that physical quantity which gives the ratio between drift velocity and electric field. That is, it is represented by mu, that is equal to Vd upon E. E is electric field, and you know that Vd can also be written in terms of this is again electric field upon electric field relaxation time upon n. You have to know how we write Vd equal to this into E upon M into tau, and therefore we have M also. Here Vd equal to Em upon this, we have, sorry, this is electronic charge upon M. In general, what we have, this E cancel out, and we are left with, this is E tau upon M. Okay, and E tau upon M, that means if we have just charge, that we can write mu equal to Q tau upon M, where tau is the relaxation time. Okay, it is the relaxation time, M is the mass, and this is the charge. Therefore, for electron, we write E tau upon mass of electron, and for hole also the charge is same, and we write E tau upon mass of holes. We know it well that it is the tau which is always constant for any semiconductor, okay, for whether it is electron or this. Therefore, it directly depends on the mass, because charge is also constant. After this, we must know what is the unit of mobility. Unit of mobility equal to Vd is your meter per second, and this is your Newton per coulomb or volt per meter. Volt per meter, that means meter square, volt minus 1, second minus 1. Meter square, volt minus 1, second minus 1 is the unit of mobility, whether it is mobility of electrons or mobility of holes. In that way, we have seen mobility also, and this is all about the free electron theory, all about the Ohm's law, because we have seen the temperature variation of Ohm's law also. We have seen there that those circuit which follows Ohm's law are ohmic circuit, those do not follow, they are non-ohmic circuits, etc. And after knowing this mobility and temperature dependence of resistance or resistivity, next time we will discuss the combination of resistances and cells. Okay, thank you.